Hey, what's up? I'm recording on my phone, so quality might obviously not be so good. That's that INTP, I guess, stuff coming through in terms of analyzing and not necessarily getting to the point. And I guess that's the aspect of this whole thing that I want to know. And obviously, you can see I'm smoking hubbly. Well, you can see the pipe. I would assume that an INTP would show you, but what would that do? Other than make me feel good. I'm not sure about you, as probably someone else who's not an INTP. But yeah, I guess the thinking aspect of it and the extroverted intuition. I travel around a lot, and I've linked up the extroverted intuition and extroverted feeling as well into that. I kind of have to just like do some random shit, and like it makes me feel good, and I assume it makes other people feel good too. Which is, then I revert back to the TISI loop, where I kind of stop acting and I just go off of memory and I talk, and I kind of zone out that whole extroverted feeling or even introverted feeling aspect of it. And that's what happens. So it's a bit of a doozy, but yeah, getting to the point exactly. I don't even know where to go, where that point would go to, or what I'd say about it. And I guess kind of looking into the ISFP aspect of it, in terms of what I should do in the physical world, and how that emotes is kind of different, in terms of I can action out things as well in a very strategic manner, and I can feel good about that. But I kind of scoff at that as well when I revert back to the TISI loop, and then that creates further kind of indignity to the fact that that actually makes me feel quite horrible. So yeah, I'm assuming you can kind of already see that, hey, this dude is an INTP, blah blah blah. Anyways, and the lights changing and all of that, and yeah, in terms of the external world, it's not necessarily like such a big aspect to me, and it's very evident. I mean, I got pimples everywhere, and like I've had like tons of like prescriptions or whatever, and go see this doctor and that and this and that, and do this, do that, and I kind of just fall through with it. I stick to it for a while, and then it starts working, I assume, but then that it doesn't start working. It just I just like and I let it like fall through, kind of like water, and just going with the flow, and that type of vibe. And the more I go with the flow in that sense, I kind of feel like I'm losing myself, but at the same time I don't really get stuff done. But I have seen, with writing especially, that just writing what goes on, what I'm thinking about, and referencing as well, academic university style writing. I don't need to force, my way through, like plummet through and feel terrible about it. There's a lot of aspects where, I can feel good about it and just do it. And to me, it'll be like, oh my gosh, I just wrote a bunch of bull crunch. I'm trying to stop swearing. I swear a lot, but you know what I mean? Going back on that, like putting that wall up and saying that I do swear a lot, and it's like, me acknowledging that and accepting that and feeling good about that. Actually, it works well in the work environment, and feeling good, also works well in the work environment, in the writing environment, and my studies, and social life and business life, and all those aspects of it. But when I'm in that TISI loop, I guess, where I'm just closing off from everything, and I'm just thinking, I'm not actioning out, I'm not doing anything, not extrovertic feeling, nothing, just thinking and memories. it goes into that whole aspect of what is this and what's really going on, and I've seen that kind of kills everything, because it doesn't just shut off my emotions, it shuts off the external environment completely and entirely, like so. It does so in such a manner that I block off everything, and everything around me like figures that out. Everyone around me figures that out and senses it and knows it, because they're so adept with their extroverted sensing, or their introverted sensing, or their extroverted feeling and their introverted feeling, which majority of the world is. So to that regard, when I get into that zone, I block all of that out. And what that means is, well, I won't succeed basically in the aspect of the physical world. There I go again with the TISI, and I'm doing it right now. But it's going into that, it's like trying to maintain that emotional connectivity, trying to feel good all the time. Kind of it doesn't just work in a way of I feel good. It was very weird to me to especially when people gave me praise. It makes me feel good. I kind of get that like on a daily basis, constantly. And I've studied different things. I've studied medicine. I haven't finished though. That's the thing. The completion part is where I just like I become indignant. I'm just like, well, okay, I mean, I've done this, I know about this, what you're saying is pretty stupid, so like, what am I gonna gain from this? And you see that, yes, I'm accurate in my thinking, yes, very much so, so much so that I'm so right that I'm wrong. Shout out to C.S. Joseph, my nigga. Thanks, dude. You're not a nigga. I'm black. I'm in South Africa. I don't even know why I use the word nigga. So, a lot of research, and I'll probably sound different or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I do, and that's what it is. But it makes me feel good, and then the questioning comes in terms of what is this? Why do I feel good? Why do I need to feel good? Why does that make me feel good? Why does that make other people feel good? Why would people laugh at that? Why would people not laugh at that? What's the problem? What's going on? And then I try to figure it all out. But emotions are just emotions, and emotions are just as logic, just as introverted thinking. It's a whole different aspect on itself, so it's like, it's different fields, it's feeling is just a whole different stratosphere. It's a whole different bubble, and then thinking is another different bubble. And as long as I'm inside the thinking bubble, I'm going to stay in that thinking bubble and not necessarily achieve anything much other than thinking and coming up with ideas. But if I stay in the feeling bubble, I achieve more than ideas, abstract ideas and things inside my head. I achieve external world, success, and external world things. And I guess the law of attraction comes in very much so in that aspect, in that I have to trust in a higher power. I have to trust in like the universe. And that's like pretty hard for an INTP, you know what I mean? Because that, trust in itself, or that trusting in it's a feeling aspect. It's not a logical aspect. So it'll be quite impossible to understand and try and interpret. It'll take a long time to get the basis of it, so that you put it into, thinking terms. And there probably is literature out there that will say, yo, no, okay, this is what it is, 1, 2, 3, blah, 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 and I'll be like, oh, posh my gosh, that's just bullcrap. But that's how it is, and it probably will be, and if I think of it like that, I kind of get into this other aspect, which is what I'm trying to say, getting to the point, which is something I can't really do. I can't get to the point, and that's life, in terms of not just the spiritual life, but in terms of the physical world as well. Getting to the point is not necessarily the objective. It's not the point. It's not the main purpose of our existence, or the physical existence. And this is obviously my interpretation. I don't want you to go out and be like, oh, yo, this dude said that, and blah blah blah, check his video, he said this, and blah blah blah. It's like, yo, sure, you can go and do that, you know what I mean, and it will hurt me, yes, and it will hurt you too, but you know, it's just the thing of, I know you're able to withstand that hurt, but not everyone can. So that's the thing. So it's not about coming to that conclusion where it's like, yo, this is it, this is final, this is the truth. And that's something I value quite a lot, the truth. And the truth kind of excludes everything, because the truth is infinitely the truth. There's no beginning and there's no end. There's no continuation, you know. There probably is a continuation, but it takes just as much longer to continue the truth than it is to say, you know, oh, you know, there's the thinking part. I'm learning myself, so it's, you know, it's more about the continuation, improving on the truth. Just as, you know, you want to know the truth, you find out something, and then you want to learn more about it, and then you grow on it, and you put in what you can in the world, and that makes you feel good. So I've seen, in a sense of me just feeling good constantly, that means my actions show it, my attitudes show it, the external world sees it, and, you know, people respond in the same manner, and that, you know, just random people will come up to me, or, you know, want to talk to me, and it's offsetting, because logically I'll be like, why? That makes no sense. I did nothing, you know. But in actual fact, I did do something. That's something. I can't put a point on it. I can't put a name on it. I can, in terms of, you know, extroverted feeling and whatever, but I didn't put like a specific point on it. And that's that extroverted and introverted feeling. And I guess that's when, you know, my other functions kick in, when I'm focused on the emotions, you know. The other functions kick in, like, okay, so if I'm feeling bad, probably I'm doing something bad, and people can see that. Or if I'm feeling, or if other people are feeling bad, that probably means that, you know, I'm not being very free, I'm not being, you know, very intuitive, extrovertedly. I'm not looking at what people want and their desires, and looking at from another side of views, and being creative, you know. Being creative kind of helps with all of that and puts people into that perspective. And yeah, the INTP structure is a very feminine one. So it might come across like, oh no, this dude's like totally gay, or he's like transgender type vibe shit. It's like, nah, it's just my personality, dude. Yeah. Yeah, you know, hopefully that helps. You know, I see a lot of people end it like that. Hopefully that helps, guys. You know, leave a like, leave a comment. Yeah, see you later.